will he be passed by his teammate as Hamilton is making a move on Giovinazzi? It's 3-1 heading into the first corner. This is going to end in tears, and yes it will! Bottas makes contact with Giovinazzi.
Everybody get your hands up.
Turbocharged 51 over here. I hope you're having a splendid day wherever you are in the world. Guys, to everybody, I know this is going to come out a lot later. It's probably going to come out just before February. Not the point. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody. I know, unlike last year, I didn't do a Christmas or New Year's video, guys. November and December month was just way too busy for me to get anything done with YouTube. But not the point. We're back in action. We're back on F1 2020 career mode, driving for the Scuderia. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm super duper excited for this one. So let's get buried straight in for today's video. Now guys, we are heading towards the US of A's for the American Grand Prix at Circuit of the Americas in Texas. Now from past experience, you guys know that I'm not the fondest of this track. But still, for some other reason, I was really looking forward to this race. The Ferrari, we've built the car up so that it's a really good chassis and aero combo at this stage, and we've got the engine where it needs to be, but we're the best in the aerodynamic part of the upgrade tree. And chassis-wise, I think we're third. I think the only teams ahead of us, well, I thought it was Red Bull and Mercedes. It's Mercedes and Racing Point, but that is fine by me because mainly COTA is a chassis circuit with a little bit of power because of that very long back straight, but also your aerodynamics in the final sector really do play a big role. So COTA is a nice combination of working every little bit of the upgrade tree. So for this weekend, well, heading into this weekend, I don't think we're not going to get this upgrade done by the time it is time for the American Grand Prix. But we're going to go for a power upgrade with only 1% chance of failure. But that'll come in before the next Grand Prix. So it's a major upgrade. And yeah, guys, just quickly looking at everything, and we are now moving forward to get to the weekend. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. Once again, like I said, I'm really excited for this weekend. Usually I'm not excited at all for COTA. It's just one of the tracks I like the least. I just don't gel with COTA. But because the Drivers' Championship is already won, as you guys saw the previous episode, I was just going to go for gold. We are still in a very intense fight with Mercedes for the Constructors' Championship, and Mercedes are not backing down. So, and I know Vettel usually goes good around COTA, so I think we've got a good chance this weekend to outscore the Mercedes, but we'll have to see what happens. But now, let's quickly have a look at the performance chart for this weekend. So Mercedes still lead the way on paper for being the fastest car in the R&D. We are a close second, with Racing Point third, Red Bull fourth, Renault fifth, AlphaTauri sixth, McLaren seventh, Alfa Romeo eighth, closely followed behind by Haas in 10th, in 9th, and Williams in 10th. Sorry, a little bit of my team going over there. But still, the midfield from Renault to Haas is really close, and then Red Bull to Mercedes is also pretty close. So don't count out those two Red Bulls and Racing Points for this weekend. But the two consistency men, Hamilton and Bottas, are always going to be at the front of the grid. But like I said, if there's some sort of chaos this weekend, don't count out Albon, Verstappen, Perez, or who's in the second Racing Point? Oh my great goodness, why am I being stupid? Not the point, we'll figure it out now. But still, don't count those four cars out in any stretch of the mind. But guys, it is now time for short quali. 1 18-minute session to determine the grid. It's gonna be a good one. Let's head straight to quali. And you guys can see we are rocking the beautiful gold and black helmet because we are already world champion. The round 19 quali session starts. You guys see this is for our first run in the one and only quali session. I nearly said Q1. In qualifying, round the final corner, open up DRS, and we actually go provisional pole position on a 1 minute 28.8, but Bottas beats us to the punch with a 1 minute 28.6. Halfway through the session, or a little bit over halfway, we go out for another run because I usually tend to do 3 runs in this quali session because you've got more than enough tires to do so. So through this first sector, you guys can see I'm up by 1/10, lose a little bit going through the end of the first sector. Now heading in towards sector 2, guys, this is the only corner that I really enjoy on this track, is this quadruple right-hander, even though I feel it's stolen from Turkey. Not the point. Into the penultimate corner, 5th gear through there, just throw the car in, into the final corner, 3rd gear, actually 2nd gear to get the car to turn in, 3rd gear on the way out, opened up DRS, and we go slightly faster, but only up into P3. Perez is on provisional pole position, and Bottas was P2, but those two have swapped around because Bottas also went faster, and there's only time left for one more run.
Engine fired, we're set.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Now, guys, let's go on board for a lap around this beautiful circuit of the Americas. And you guys can see it's getting a bit doom and gloom. The clouds are setting in, so I think our timing is perfect because there was rain forecast for just at the end of quali. Luckily, the rain is holding out to fall after quali. So hopefully we don't have any rain in the race tomorrow because this track in the wet is just it's just horrifying. But through this first sector stolen from Maggots and Beckett's at Silverstone, into this next left-hander. Now this right-hander is where you can easily gain or lose a lot of time. Through the right, into the left, just flick the car into the left and pray that you don't exceed track limit, which I did. Into this hairpin, heading onto the back straight. You guys see I'm very close to the curb. Try and get the power on as early as possible. We are 1.5 tenths up on our time so far. Open up DRS as we head down this immensely long back straight. You guys see 330 kilometers an hour. We're really booming down here. Light to the brakes, take the esports line, throw the car in, 2nd gear, clip the curb, 3rd gear on the way out, 4th gear, 5th gear, into this next part. Now this part of the circuit is the fun part. This, I'm not going to lie. 3rd sector, beautiful at Circuit of the Americas. Use as much of the track as possible. Take a wide line into this sweeping left-hander, into the quadruple right-hander. Don't you dare lift through here. It's flat out all the way. You guys can see I take a different line from the normal racing line. I hug the inside, throw the car into this left-hander, 5th gear, 6th gear on the way out. Valtteri Bottas goes provisional pole, but we come through the final corner, 3rd gear, 4th gear, over the exit curb. DRS open and it's P!
And with qualifying complete, let's review our top 3 today. Bottas, Hamilton and Parker. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix. Here we are then in one of the fastest growing cities in the United States, the fabulous Austin, in the great state of Texas. The circuit itself 14 miles southeast of the city centre and home to the US Grand Prix since 2012. The latest in a long list of iconic tracks to have that honour. We have 10 turns to the left and 10 to the right here at the fantastic Circuit of the Americas. Overtaking opportunities into turn 1 and 12 at this anti-clockwise 3.6 mile track. And we should see average lap speeds of around 126 miles per hour. Also here, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Parker. What a season they've had. A well-deserved championship victory, and the pressure now surely off, with the title already in the bag.
It really is well-deserved. I wouldn't say it's been a faultless title challenge, but certainly one that has been consistent and well-managed. Here's hoping they let off a bit of steam today and give us an exciting race.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Parker, Perez, Sebastian Vettel, and Albon. Kvyat, Norris, Ocon, and Lance Stroll. Gasly, Leclerc, Daniel Ricciardo. They've taken a grid penalty. And Magnussen, Verstappen, Russell, Antonio Giovinazzi, and Carlos Sainz. Latifi and Kimi Raikkonen finishes off the grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Jeff, I'll try my best not to let you down. Guys, before we move on anymore, if you find that you are enjoying yourself throughout any moment of this episode, remember to drop a like down below on the video. It's highly appreciated. Thank you very much. And also, if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit the subscribe down below and don't forget to ding that bell to never miss a future episode here on Turbo Fox Races. But guys, as you guys can see on the strategy, the game is actually prescribing a 2-stop. Now, a 1-stop around Circuit of the Americas is possible, but the hards around this track are pathetic. They are so slow. So I think we're going to stick with the 2-stop. Maybe mid-race, we'll see what the situation is mid-race, if we can actually make a 1-stop work, because it is slightly quicker. But I'd rather be on full attack the entire race than trying to conserve my tires at a track that I don't like. So we're gambling on the 2-stop, might convert to the 1-stop, but we'll see what happens. Jam with me on the warm-up lap. Ready for the American Grand Prix in Season 2 of Career Mode. Round 19 as we head to 5 red lights. And it's go, go, go for round 19 of this Career Mode. The constructors are still all up for grabs. Almost 3 wide between myself, Hamilton and Bottas into the first corner. Round the outside, Bottas cuts the curve. He leaves the door wide open. We take the lead of the American Grand Prix. Vettel and Perez are side by side right behind us. Vettel trying to get into P4 so he can put the Mercedes under pressure, but Perez bullies him out of the position. So it's myself leading the way from Valtteri Bottas P2. Lewis Hamilton is in P3. Sergio Perez P4 with Sebastian Vettel P5. He's followed by the AlphaTauri of Pierre Gasly in P6. But this has been the perfect start we've needed. Well, not for Vettel, but for me as a driver, it's been perfect. But we need Vettel to overtake Perez. Otherwise, I'm going to be battling both Mercedes at once for this race. We go down the back straight for the first time this week. Well, for the first time in the race this weekend. And you guys can see the Mercedes is not a slouch in a straight line. As soon as I turn off my overtake, the Mercedes is already sniffing at the goods of the Ferrari, you know, the better goods. Ooh, a little bit of kick of oversteer going through that left-hander at the end of the back straight. But into the final sector, we will lead the way of the American Grand Prix at the end of the first lap. We are already the world champion, but we are flying the flag high for the Tifosi back in Italy. And we're going to have to make sure if Vettel ends up P4, P5, and he can't mount a fight on Hamilton or Bottas, we're going to have to win today to stay in the fight with Mercedes. We are leading the way in the constructors at this stage, but not by a big enough margin. So we're going to have to defend this lead and hope and pray that Vettel can get past that racing point and get on to the back of Hamilton so that we can have a 4-car fight and hopefully make it a Ferrari 1-2 today here at Circuit of the Americas. But at this stage, it's looking highly unlikely. But we'll have to see what happens. Vettel did not get the best start. We now go on board with Charles Leclerc as we start lap 2, guys. The former Ferrari driver now basically back to a Ferrari junior driver. And as you guys can see, Leclerc's going slowly. The engine has gone pop. And Charles Leclerc in his horse, who's actually been driving having a spectacular season for the Haas team, is out of the American Grand Prix. The Monegasque is not going to be happy, and I'm sure he's going to be having a little bit of a scream session inside the Haas garage. But here we go, you guys see I'm under pressure from Valtteri Bottas at the start of lap 3. Here we go. On the inside goes Bottas. We are on the outside. We get the better exit, and we are now once again into the lead. But Bottas has got DRS. We have to absolutely drain our battery of ERS to stay ahead of the Mercedes onto the brakes, and Bottas has a small lockup but doesn't run into the back of us, so we still lead the way. But guys, look what I told you literally a few seconds ago. If Vettel doesn't get past Perez, I'm fighting both the Mercedes, so they can basically try and double team me throughout this race. Even though I'm in the lead, they are controlling this Grand Prix, because they've got the upper hand when it comes to numbers. So I need to be very careful, as we see Max Verstappen, who started this race down in P15 thanks to a penalty, make a move there on one of the back markers. We are first to blame, guys, because I'm not going to allow Mercedes to put me under pressure and let them go for the undercut. So we are in, we bank on the 2-stop. Off of our set of softs, we did have a little bit of overheating issues, but okay, I thought that Jeff was going to talk there. But I was initially going to go into the mediums, but I'm going for a double soft stint to make sure that I can defend my lead.
We'll be doing one more stop today. One stop left in our strategy.
Thank you very much, Jeff. We come out right behind Max Verstappen. It is Red Bull through the first corner, and now we need to make sure that we absolutely give it our all in this Ferrari. The battery is nicely charged up, so as soon as we're through this first sector, I can push very, very hard, because I need to defend my lead, guys. And if I went into the mediums, I might not have been able to gain enough time on the Mercedes to defend my lead. They might have actually overcut me, so the softs was the only way to go. So I'm going to absolutely ruin this set of softs as quickly as possible and just try.
Some of this energy.
Okay, thank you very much, Jeff. He's just talking about our battery being very, very much fully charged. But if I can't, like I say, guys, I can't risk the fact of either Bottas or Hamilton or even both of them jumping me, because then we've got a big problem in the Constructors Championship. I'm thinking about more than just a race victory here today, because I want to give Ferrari their first Constructors Championship since 2008. So here we go, on the back of Max Verstappen into the third sector. Beautiful move around the outside. We do have the grip advantage because he is also stuck behind the Alfa Romeo of Antonio Giovinazzi. Here we go through the quadruple right-hander. Giovinazzi goes, he sticks to the racing line. We go to the inside, to the outside for the kink, around the outside. Two beautiful moves there on the Dutchman and the Italian, and we are up 2 positions. We now actually have a little bit of a rewind back, and as you guys can see, Hamilton has been called into the pit lane. It's clear that Mercedes think he's being held up by his teammate, and he is going to get the undercut on his teammate probably, but also trying to defend me. So here we go. Will we come out ahead of Lewis Hamilton? He's going for the same 2-stop as myself, soft, medium. So me and Hamilton are going to be in a battle for the rest of this Grand Prix. So let's see, do we come out ahead of Hamilton? Have we done enough, even though overtaking 2 cars on that lap, to come out ahead? Yes, there we go. We flashed by on the right-hand side. There we go, into the first corner. We defend from Hamilton. Can we do the same on Valtteri Bottas? But guys, when it comes to the soft tires at this track, the soft tires wear extremely quick. 1 lap difference in soft tire compound can make a big difference. So Hamilton will be on the better tire for this stint, but we'll just see if we can make moves quicker than the Brit. Here we go, into the third sector once again. We are right behind the racing point of Lance Stroll. See, I remembered it's Stroll. I just had a little bit of a brain fart earlier in the video. Right around the outside of the Canadian, as we now chase after the Alpha Tauri of Danny Kvyat. And no, not Danny Kvyat, of Roman Grosjean, excuse me. No, it is. I'm swapping my team and career mode, guys. I'm sorry. We're chasing after an Alpha Tauri. 2 laps after myself and 1 lap after his teammate. Valtteri Bottas is into the lane, off of the softs, onto a second set of softs. I actually would have thought that Mercedes would have gambled their strategy here. Put Bottas on a 1-stop and put Hamilton on a 2-stop to put me under pressure. But no, clearly Mercedes think the 1-stop is not the way to go. We do pass Bottas. Will he be passed by his teammate as Hamilton is making a move on Giovinazzi? It's 3-1 heading into the first corner. This is going to end in tears. And yes, it will! Bottas makes contact with Giovinazzi. There's a front wing end plate flying around. And I mean, Giovinazzi has just ruined Bottas' race. He has absolutely ruined the Finns race. Hamilton had no way of knowing this, guys. He was alongside Giovinazzi as Bottas came out of the pit lane, so that is not Hamilton's fault. But Gio just gets forced into Bottas. Look at this, guys. Hamilton is already, look at this, alongside Gio. He can't see Bottas. He can't see his teammate on the outside trying to make the move, and Gio just, he goes up the inside. If I was Bottas personally, I would have backed out of it and let them go. But Bottas was too desperate to stick with Hamilton to try and chase me down. So that is Bottas out of the contention for this race victory. And now, all of a sudden, it's looking good for Ferrari. We are now basically going to be 1-4 because it's going to be myself fighting for the win with Hamilton. Perez P3, because I do not think Vettel has passed Perez yet. And then Perez is going to be P3. Vettel P4, and Bottas is going to be outside the points. So we will outscore Mercedes, especially if I take the win. As you guys can just see me pulling off some stunning moves here on the AlphaTauri, the Renault, and next the McLaren of Lando Norris. Here we go through this next left-hander. Will Norris peel into the pit lane? Yes, he will. He opens up the road. He gives us a free straight of DRS, and here we go. We now take back the lead of the American Grand Prix, and we've got a good lead over Lewis Hamilton. Here we are on board with Hamilton, actually, as he's going for a move on, I think this is Lance Stroll, who is still yet to pit in this race. Yes, it is Stroll. Easy move on the inside of Stroll. DRS not even trying to you know, unsettle himself in the corners. But that is Hamilton up into P2. So we lead the way on the start. I think it's the start of lap 14, somewhere around there. So we do lead the way of the American Grand Prix. Hamilton is in P2 now, and I'm almost certain it's Perez P3. So here we go. Hamilton P2 through the first corner. Actually, it's Alexander Albon in P3, also on a two-stop. So Albon must have gone for a massive undercut on Vettel and Perez. So I don't even know where Perez is. He's not here. It's Norris P4 on a one-stop, Vettel P5 on a two-stop, Ricciardo P6 also on a two-stop. So Norris is really playing this very good. Ocon is in P7 also on a two-stop. So then you've got Pierre Gasly in P8 on a two-stop, Verstappen in P9 on a two-stop. Sorry, Gasly's on a one-stop. Gasly's on a one-stop. Verstappen on a two-stop in P9, so he's going to fall out of the points. And Carlos Sainz in the second McLaren is once again in P10. He's the P10 man this season on a two-stop. So I think Carlos is going to fall out of the points with Verstappen. But I mean, there's a few one-stoppers within this little train here, so Hamilton and myself might have a problem if we don't have a big enough lead. I think I've got more than a big enough lead. Hamilton, maybe not so much. So we're into the lane for our second pit stop. Here we go. Off of the mediums, off of the softs onto the mediums as we come out of the pit lane. 2.9 second pit stop, not the best that Ferrari could do, but you know, it's not the end of the world. Hamilton takes the lead, but he still needs to make his second stop. Albon is going to overtake us. Where has Alex Albon come from? He has just absolutely shot himself into this race, and he's fighting for a podium. He's going to be fighting with Norris and Vettel for a podium at the end of this race. So we are out ahead of the one-stopper, so we will resume in the lead as soon as Albon and Hamilton make their stops. So here comes Hamilton. It's about 2 laps later that Hamilton has actually come in, so I've really gone early once again. So Hamilton into the lane, off of the softs, onto the mediums, and will he be followed by Albon or not? No, he's not. Albon is actually staying out, and he's just giving us a DRS tow, so I'm not going to complain. If I just stay behind him to make the move on the back straight, that is all nice and dandy for me. So Albon is now into the lead of the Grand Prix, with myself in second and Hamilton even further away in P3. But you guys can see, now that I know that I've secured the lead and I've got a substantial gap to Hamilton, I'm just driving to make sure that I don't overwork the car, overwork my engine components, or overwork the tires. I'm just got to nurse the car to the end, make sure I maintain the gap to Hamilton, not try and extend it. Maintain the gap, you know, maybe lose a second or two, but just make sure that Hamilton doesn't close up to us. Here we go, onto the back straight. We've got 7.8 seconds to Hamilton. So it's a substantial gap. We open up DRS, ERS is flowing.
Second place, you're in second place. Albon's just ahead. Push for the position. Less than a second separate you. Hamilton behind. Our gap behind is 7.8 seconds. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. 11 laps to go.
Thank you very much, Jeff. You guys saw me make a beautiful move around the outside of Alex Albon. He's going to come into the pit lane almost certainly this lap. There's no way. He can't go longer on that second set of softs. So, actually, let's run through the top 10 again to see where everybody sits at, because the one-stoppers are making this very interesting. So, we do lead the way at the middle lap 19. Hamilton is in P2. We've got about 8 seconds to Hamilton. So we are in a comfy lead. So Hamilton is in P2. Third place is Lando Norris for McLaren on a one-stop. So he went from softs to hards. He really stretched his soft stint. So Norris really going for a bold one. Ocon is in P4 with Albon now down to P5, but he's on the hards? Why? He extended his second soft stint to go to the mediums, and Red Bull still put him on the hards. That is stupid, because now he won't be able to really mount an attack. But in any case, Gasly P6, Stroll P7 on a 2-stop, so he's going to close up to these guys definitely. Bottas has fought himself all the way up into P8 with, is that Raikkonen or Giovinazzi? I think that's Giovinazzi. Giovinazzi's in the points for Alfa Romeo, and I don't know what happened to Vettel, but he's sitting in P10. What are you doing, Sebastian? But at this stage, yeah, we will only slightly outscore Mercedes if it ends like this. So Vettel goes for the move on Giovinazzi. He moves the Alfa Romeo driver back down to P10. He's now up into P9. And Vettel, please chase after Bottas. Please don't be a numbnut. In any case, so here we go. We now look on board here with actually the horse of Kevin Magnussen, as he is coming under fire from Kimi Raikkonen and Max Verstappen, and these guys are battling for the wooden spoon. This is not for points, guys, but this is an interesting battle, because you've got Haas, Alfa Romeo, Red Bull, and a McLaren fighting for position here, and there's another car behind them. I think it's one of the Williams. No, it's actually, there's Perez. What is Perez doing over there? Perez must have had front wing damage at some stage of this race and had to make a urgent pit stop, guys, because he had some sort of mechanical issue. Because there's no way his strategy, well, his race is panning out like this, just following a normal strategy like the rest of us. So a sad day for Checo Perez. But guys, we come around the final corner to start the final lap of the American Grand Prix. So we do lead the way. Hamilton couldn't touch us. We controlled this race after the second round of pit stops perfectly. When all the overtakes were done and everything, we just controlled this. Hamilton is going to get a solid P2 for Mercedes. So it's not a bad day in the office, but it could have been so much more for Mercedes. Norris is still in P3, and he's not under threat from the guys behind. Ocon, Albon, and Gasly have closed up, but Norris is doing exactly the same as me. He's just managing the gap. So, I mean, Norris has got about 2.5 seconds on Ocon and Albon. So that's not the worst. We've got 6.3 seconds on Hamilton. So like I said, guys, I did sacrifice about 2 seconds to Hamilton, but I kept my tires in check. I kept my energy under check.
Hamilton behind. The gap behind us is 6.4 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 9 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:31.7.
Thank you, Jeff. Just one final time hearing from our race engineer in this Grand Prix, guys. But like I said, guys, I just controlled everything, mainly kept my tires in good condition and in the right operating temperature. And it's really delivered some fruit. So we're already the world champion, but we're gonna bank another win for this season. Round the penultimate corner, the 51 is reigning supreme. Here we go, baby. Here we go. Around the final corner as we take the win for the American Grand Prix.
Great job. You've done everything we wanted today.
Grazie ragazzi, grazie. Mi sentite? Mi sentite? Forza Ferrari.
That's a spectacular victory then, and with it, the championship is secure. It's been a magnificent season, and they thoroughly deserve the cheers of the crowd here today. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
Ferrari are at it again, an excellent performance at today's Grand Prix, and they're certainly a team that know what they're doing out there. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
Well, for me, it's got to be Lewis Hamilton. The multiple world champion may be the boring choice at this point, but you can't argue that he's a driver deserving of his reputation. All respect to the fans' choice, they fully deserve it, but I just feel that my pick had a little more on their plate, so their ability to keep a cool head and come through for such a strong finish made the difference, at least in my opinion.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari continued to extend the gap at the top of the table. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.
Me as well, Crofty, me as well. Guys, what a race weekend. Now, don't think that we won the constructors yet. We haven't. The championship that the commentators were talking about is just the drivers, because I'm not catchable in the drivers anymore. I literally don't have to finish a single race the rest of the season, and I will still win the championship. And in the constructors, it's looking good. It's looking good. I think we can clutch this the next Grand Prix, guys. If me and Vettel, even if we only have like a 3-4 and even Hamilton and Bottas take a 1-2, I still feel that we will take it, because this was round 19. There's only 3 rounds to go. And Mercedes are basically going to need a 1-2 with fastest lap by either one of the drivers, and me and Vettel basically shouldn't get into the points at all for them to win the constructors. So it's looking good for us here at Scuderia Ferrari, and I'm very excited for the final 3 races of the season. And now that you guys have seen F1 2021 is going to be on the channel, I've got epic ideas for F1 2021. Trust me, you are going to love it. You will love it. I promise. But guys, that has been this video. Thank you so much for watching. But before you click off, guys, remember to go check out the links in the description down below. Please check me out on social media. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends. Tag me in the post or the story, and I will give you a shout out in a future video, as well as on my social media. Make sure to go check out my South African gaming clan, Falcon Gaming. Guys, doing some awesome stuff here in South Africa for the gaming community. It's a treat to follow us, so make sure you go follow us there. And also, make sure to go check out my second YouTube channel, iiTzAssassins Gaming, for some non-racing game content. And guys, I know I've been saying in so many videos, content coming soon, but this time I actually mean it. I've got good content planned for that channel. I'll see you guys over there. And yeah, guys, if you enjoyed yourselves throughout the video, make sure to drop a like down below. When you share the video with your friends, make sure to tell them that they should drop a like down below as well. And finally, if you are new to this channel and you haven't yet subscribed, what are you doing? Hit the subscribe down below, and don't forget to ding that bell to never miss a future episode. Guys, it's been an awesome race, and you guys heard what I said at the beginning of the video. I was excited for Kota, but I didn't know why. And just the pace of the Ferrari this weekend was exceptional. Mercedes did have the one lap pace over us in qualifying, but race pace wise, definitely on my side of the garage, Mercedes couldn't touch me, except at the beginning of the race when I was struggling with tire temps. But other than that, race pace wise, we made the moves, we made everything stick, we came through for the dub, and I think the next race in Mexico will most probably be the one where we seal the Constructors Championship. I'm excited. I hope you are too. Thank you for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers!
They shooting. I made you look. You were slave to a page in my rhyme book.